Boelter Jones, Pro Football Hall of Famer, top 100.
Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks.
DK Metcalf from
Lebeau. You're watching NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
What's up, everybody? And happy Saturday here in, what is this, week 15 of the 2020 season. Appreciate you guys jumping on here. I see a lot of you already blowing up the chat, getting the conversation going here. I'm excited. This is another fan panel, which means I'm going to have a few special guests, some regular viewers of my show, some who have earned the right because of their amazing performances on trivia. They've gotten their spots here. And these guys are no strangers to the show. So I'm excited to bring them on. We're also going to be taking your calls from the Discord. So if you're not a member of Discord yet, make sure you join. The link is in the description. And you'll have to join the stream game day voice chat to do that. I see some people are already there. So we'll be taking your voice calls as well. So we're going to get into this. Today we're going to talk about the playoff picture. Things are getting really interesting now as we get to the last three games. Got games going on right now that have implications for all teams around, including the Seahawks. So we'll be keeping an eye on those scores as we talk about this today. But we're going to go for about an hour talking about the playoff picture. So we're going to just kind of peek ahead and see what games lie ahead, our own games, plus the other games of around the league, and how that might affect the entire picture here, and see if we can guess this thing right. So before I do that and bring our panel on, I just want to remind everybody, if you would please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and that notification bell. I would greatly appreciate it, and helps me out big time. So without further ado, let's get into the fan panel. Here they are. We've got three of them here on the fan panel. We've got, let's start on the top right, Lewis, the sports nerd, Kansas City Chiefs fan. Welcome to the show, Lewis, and good job on that trivia that we did last time. That was a good job on that.
Thank you so much for letting me be here. It's a very important game tomorrow, very important game for really the NFL in general, I think, actually. So really important, really excited to get into this. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, KC Sports Nerd, he is a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so he comes from an AFC top of the conference position as he talks about his game here. But we're going to go down to our other guest, Nick Lebeau. Nick Lebeau from a local kid out of Bellevue, Washington. Nick,
yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Great to be here.
I see you sporting the UW Pac-12 sweatshirt there, my alma mater. It's been a weird season. Unfortunately, UW had to not going to be able to play in that game, which is a total bummer for those guys. But things will get back to normal. We'll drop back 10 and punt and hopefully get next year going. Let's go to our final one here, and this is Sky High Aviation. Jose, who won the last contest. Actually, you've won several now, back to back. I mean, you've been pretty dominant in the trivia. Perfect 12 out of 12, if I'm not mistaken, on the last trivia contest. That is incredible.
I have no idea what happened.
That is an impressive. Yeah. So
talk football today. Got a good game tomorrow. Let's see what happens. A lot of implications today and tomorrow, and gearing up towards the playoffs. And this is when football gets really exciting. Yeah.
So I see DJ Squabo, part of the roundtable, in on the chat saying "Go Cougs." Joey Del Rosario answers back with a "Go Dogs." You guys keep the chats going. Feel free to super chat it up if you want. That'll be the best way to get our attention here as the chat rolls on by. And again, we will take some calls from the Discord as well. So I think it's best to start with, this has been kind of a Washington football team day. I did a live stream collab with Ed Oliver, a Washington football team YouTuber. Did a great talk about what to expect from them. And then later this evening, I'm going to have the third video today. It's a busy day. We're going to do a bonus coaches corner. We're going to actually preview the Washington football team and drop some plays with the coaches' analysis of some of the keys to stopping Washington, what we can expect from a very X's and O's standpoint. So join me in a couple hours for that. So it's going to be a busy afternoon. So let's talk about, before we get into the big picture, let's talk about the immediate picture that's in front of us from a Seahawks perspective. We're playing the Washington football team tomorrow, and I want to get your guys' perspective on this game tomorrow. Let's get a KC Sports Nerd. You guys didn't play Washington this year, right? So you don't really have a direct feel on this team. But what do you think? What's if from an outsider's perspective, who do you think is going to win that game tomorrow, and why?
Well, I do think it's going to be the Seahawks coming out on top tomorrow for sure. But before I even just give about my score prediction, I just want to say that the big thing, I love this guy coming out of college of Ohio State. I loved watching Chase Young play. This guy, if they were calling this guy coming out of college a generational defensive end, and he is for a reason. He can hit. He can run extremely fast. He ran up to 18 miles an hour top speed last week against the Niners. So the big thing I think is going to be the main key, and probably my one and big only key, other than obviously winning the turnover battle and doing the things you must do every week, is really getting on Chase Young and not letting him take over the game. That's going to be really the most important thing, because offensively, they're not really a very high-powered offense in this entire league. I mean, really the best receiver is Terry McLaurin, and that's really just about it, really. And I think that their defense is one of the best, eighth in takeaways and in a top 5 in sacks. I mean, that's really going to be the big one especially. But I think if you can just really shut down Chase Young and keep him from what he's doing best, it's really going to be a lot harder for this offense to follow up from what the defense really will not play well at all, and then they're going to have to respond. It's going to be a really, really tough outing for them if that occurs.
Yeah, definitely defense is the theme of the day, and I think on offense, the fact that they lost Alex Smith, who they've been very successful with coming in off of injury, and now with him being injured, they got to go back to Dwayne Haskins, which it sounds like most Washington fans are not happy that their original starting quarterback is going to have to come back and play this game, but we'll see what effect that has, but they also have injuries in the backfield, which is going to hamper their offense that much more. So it obviously the focus is going to be the Washington and that dominant defense trying to take over the game, which is the counter to that. Seattle's going to not let that happen. Nick Lebeau, your take on what do you think is going to happen tomorrow and what Seattle's got to do to try to stop and get a win against the Washington football team?
Yeah, so this team really reminds me of the 2012-2013 Seahawks, a super powerful defense, relying a lot on the run game through the offense. I'll get into that in a second. The difference between the 2013 Seahawks and this team is the 2013 Seahawks had a bit more weapons, and they had a much better quarterback, whether Alex Smith is playing, which he isn't, but yeah, still, in general, we had a better quarterback. Terry McLaurin is their only weapon on offense, and if we can neutralize him, then there's nothing that their offense can do, because Antonio Gibson is most likely out, and he was really their power back, their monster, and now they're getting J.D. McKissick, who we're really familiar with from the Seahawks, who is a converted wide receiver to running back. He's super athletic, super fast, but he doesn't really complement the kind of offense they run, which is smash mouth and like run and gun. Dwayne Haskins, however, I do think can be a threat if he's left unpressured. Carlos Dunlap is on the questionable list. He, I think, is more likely to play than not. And we saw last week with him out, obviously that's the Jets offensive line. Our defense was getting sacks. Our D-line was doing good. But if we can really pressure Dwayne Haskins, then he'll throw picks, he'll throw turnovers, he'll make mistakes, and that's the way we're going to win this game.
In the chat, Bad Kids Entertainment asks, is Dwayne Brown blocking Chase Young? That's a good question. I'm hoping to get into that in the coach's corner today, but I'm not exactly sure where Chase Young lines up and who will be blocking him. Does he play both sides? Do you guys know? Is he more of a right side guy? Is he a left side guy?
I think the smartest move that Washington could make is lining Chase Young up over Cedric Ogigbe, who's most likely to play at right tackle. Brandon Shell, our starter's most likely out. And even if the unlikely chance he does play, he still is going to have a lingering ankle injury. And as you guys know, offensive tackle is a lot of footwork, a lot of putting pressure on that ankle. So I think if Washington is smart, they put Chase Young on that right side, because that is Seattle's weakness on the offensive line.
Yeah, and we've been playing, was it Chad Wheeler, fourth stringer, has been trying to hold it down over there on the right side, and he's doing his best, but I guess a guy like that is going to be definitely a weak spot that I'm sure Seattle is well aware of, so hopefully they will have that already in mind as they approach this game plan. So how about we go to Jose, Sky High Aviation. You're a future pilot. Someday he's going to be flying you guys around the country. He says, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. If you look to the right, you have beautiful Mount Rainier, and we're going to have some drinks, and just sit back and enjoy the flight. Anyway, pretty good, right? You got to get used to saying all that kind of cool stuff when you're on there with your captain's hat one day. Right, Jose?
It will definitely be like that, Norb.
Yeah, you got to give me your pilot before the day is over. You got to give me your best pilot impression at some point.
Okay.
So you better start thinking about what you're going to say here. Give me your 20-second pilot first time you're on the radio when you've taken off and you address the crowd. But let's address the question: Seahawks-Washington. Anything you want to add to this? A key for Seattle to try to get a win tomorrow.
Well, obviously they're without Alex Smith, and they're without a couple other players like the running back Gibson, who's been pretty good actually this year for their team. He ran all over the Cowboys, if you didn't notice. I really want to take inspiration from an actual game that I don't think this game is going to be close in any matter because of Washington's offense. We're not going to have a problem stopping the offense. It's the defense that's the problem. And I want to take inspiration from a game last year that was against the 49ers. And the 49ers, remember, they had a great defense. And we went into their building. We started off pretty poorly, but the defense started making plays, and the offense started playing a lot better against the defense of the 49ers. Yeah, Russell Wilson's going to get sacked. Yeah, that's the unfortunate fact that, as Nick mentioned, we're going to be missing our right tackle. I'm pretty sure they're going to move Chase Young wherever our weakness is. And even if they didn't have Chase Young, the defense on that Washington team is still pretty good. So I'm taking inspiration from that 49ers game on Monday night. And we got to kind of copy that game plan and play the way that we did against that Washington defense, against that 49er defense. And obviously we hope it's not going to be close. But we hope that the offense can actually play good against this Washington football team. Because if it's not, Dwayne Haskins he's a good quarterback. He came from Ohio State. That's a good college to go to, no matter what position you play. He can run all over us. That offense can play well if the defense comes out and plays sloppy. So defense has got to take care of their part. The offense, I think, will do their part, even if Russell Wilson gets sacked, gets beat up.
Well, and I think the best way to avoid getting sacked is to not even have to be in a position where you'll get sacked. So I would like to see Seattle, establish the run, throw some quick, screens to kind of alleviate some of that pressure. There are a lot of things you can do where you don't have to drop back and wait for your receivers to get open downfield, putting your quarterback at risk. So hopefully they mix it up, speed the tempo up a little bit, and get the running game going. So if we can control the clock and wear that defense down a little bit and keep things balanced and not have to have Russell throw for more than 300 yards, make it like a nice little 250 kind of game, a couple touchdowns, I think that would probably be enough if they can then establish the run. So, that's my hope that that's what Seattle comes out and does. Just like that game against the Jets. I mean, Wilson had, several touchdowns, had the highest score in a long time, but his throwing attempts and yards were actually very low. He didn't have to work that hard. So I think that's the key. Is the more Russell has to throw, and the more he's back there in harm's way, the more it's going to play into the hands of the Washington football team. So do you guys have a score prediction of what this game's going to go? Let's start with KC Sports Nerd.
Hey, Norb.
Yeah, I think you're muted there.
There we go. I think it's going to be Seattle wins it. I'm going to go a little bit of a higher scoring game. I'm going to go 30-20, the final score.
Wow, 30-20. Okay, 30 points on that vaunted Washington defense. 30-20. I like it, though. Let's go to Nick. Nick, what's your score prediction?
Yeah, my score prediction is I think this is going to be a defensive game, a close game. I say 17-10 Seattle.
All right, low scoring. Shout out to Alina Dahl in the Super Chat, one of my very dependable, always there moderators. I love what you do. You keep things clean in the chat. And She says, Jose, I have to do it. Go Dogs. And Nick likes that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. All right, so let's go to Jose with your score prediction. What do you got?
I think Russell Wilson pulls it out late. I think really it's going to be 23-17 23-13. I think he gets a field goal late to just put it out of reach.
Okay. All right. I like it. I said it already before, but my prediction on this game, I'm going to follow what I predicted way back in August in my music prediction video that Seattle will win this thing 28-17. So that's it. So we'll see what happens. And
Yes.
we need this. We need this win big time because we're going to get into the playoff picture coming up right here using the ESPN playoff machine and see how the situation looks in terms of what Seattle has to do and what the other teams might do to create this result. So what we're going to do, if you guys haven't heard of it, the ESPN playoff machine is pretty awesome. I'm actually going to put it in the link in the chat so you guys can pull this thing up. But it is awesome because basically, check out the chat link. You guys can click on it there. But I'm going to pull it up right here. So the playoff machine is a ESPN app where it just runs on your web browser. And you essentially, right here, you pick the games of the remaining weeks. And so we got week 15 right now, and then 16 and 17. You just go through and just click on who you think is going to win. And then the machine will immediately display who the seeds are based on the rest of the schedule. So it does all the math and the probabilities and all that stuff. And you can figure out who's going to play who. So I'm going to kind of go through, play a little game, a little project ahead and see what happens here. So let's kind of do some we'll go through. I'm going to say what I think is going to happen. You guys can tell me if you agree or disagree with any of these picks. And then when we get to week 17, well, then I'll pull up the bracket and we'll talk about where we line up and how that looks for all of our teams here. So in week 15, Raiders already lost that game, so the Chargers won that game. The Bills are playing right now against the Broncos at halftime. The Bills are up 21-13. I think that's going to be a win. Packers against the Panthers in Green Bay tonight. I think, sadly, Green Bay gets the win there. Dolphins against Risha, are you disagreeing, or are you just saying that's just too bad that is the reality?
It's the reality.
Okay, yes, reality. Okay, and then we got the Patriots at the Dolphins. I'm going with the Dolphins on this one. They're playing pretty well as of late. We've got the Jaguars at the Ravens. Ravens will win that one. We've got Texans at the Colts. Colts should win that game. We've got Lions at the Titans. This one's kind of interesting. Two teams, depending on the day. But I'm going to go with the Titans on this one. Do you guys disagree? Yeah. Anyone disagree on that one? Okay, we're all the same.
I agree.
I agree.
A couple other teams here in the lower side of their NFC divisions. We got the Niners at Dallas. I'm going to give the edge to the Niners on this one. What do you guys think?
So, yeah.
How could you not give it to the Niners? The Cowboys have a worse defense than the Seahawks do.
The Niners have been banged up. Their season is just so unpredictable right now. But I'm going with Niners on this one because I think they're starting to get guys back, and even though they didn't win it, they lost their last game, didn't they? They got spanked bad by
they lost to Washington.
Washington, exactly. The game with the team we're playing tomorrow. So again, the defense wreaked havoc. Scored 2 touchdowns on those guys. Anyway,
Chase Young got one, and
All right, so then we've got the Seahawks game. I picked Seattle since we all picked Seattle in this one. Yes. Chicago Bears at the Vikings. I'm going with the Vikings in this game. Any disagreement there?
No, I don't disagree.
All right, so we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Atlanta. Got to go with the Bucs. Tom Brady and the Bucs there. Eagles at the Cardinals. I think Cardinals get it done at home. And you guys speak up if you disagree. Not easy. And the Eagles, if it was Carson Wentz, automatic loss. But now that they got they got Jalen Hurts in there, they're looking like a totally different team. I'm glad they did not put Jalen Hurts against us because I think that game could have been very different if they pulled the trigger on him earlier. So I'm glad they waited to do it now. So
I think
that could be interesting.
Close, but
it could go either way. And that could have serious playoff implications in the seeding there if we choose this one a little bit differently. So we might go and tweak that one. But for now, I'm going with that. Jets at the LA Rams. Got to go with the Jets on that one. Just kidding.
The Jets.
The Rams tear it up there.
Yeah.
Kansas City at the Saints. Got to go with Kansas City, and I want Kansas City to give the Saints a loss here because we need some help with them.
And also. Oh, sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, just add on, the Saints clinch the division with a win tomorrow. Also, just to add on to that game, also.
Yeah. Well, they got something to play for.
So
Everybody's got something to play for. Browns at New York Giants. Browns playing pretty good football. Got to go with the Browns here. Agreed?
Giants do not have Daniel Jones either, so.
Yeah,
I think
Colt McCoy.
I think it could be. I think that it was moved. I don't know why it got moved to Sunday night. First of all, that's something I'm not exactly sure. But if I had to say, I think it will be closer because I think that Daniel Jones would be, I think, a blowout more. I just think that because how Colt McCoy may have played against Seattle a little bit, but he didn't really have to rely on. I think the Browns will pull away late, but I think for the beginning of the game, it could be close.
It could be closer than
right.
we would have thought.
The Browns are like the Seahawks. They just, some days they play great, some days we don't show up, or some days we play crap in the first half, and then all of a sudden, here we are, second half, and we show up.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Exactly.
But we all still feel that the Browns are going to pull this one off, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Steelers against the Bengals. Steelers win that one. Okay, so that's week 15. So we bump ahead to week 16. And, got to click it over here. Week 16.
What does the playoff picture look like after that week? Does it?
Well, I've already gone through and pre-picked everything, so
okay.
I'm trying to save some suspense here. So I don't want to really reveal the brackets until we pick the games out. So, so I'm not. I just did that for the sake of the time of it. I guess I could have picked it on live, but anyway, here we are, week 16. Vikings at the Saints. Got to go with the Saints here. Buccaneers at the Lions. Going with the Bucks. Niners at the Cardinals. I'm thinking the Cardinals here at home will get it done. Again, just speak up if you disagree. Dolphins at the Raiders. Dolphins in this one. Browns against the Jets. Going to be the Browns. Giants at Baltimore. Got to go with Baltimore. Colts against Steelers. This is a tough one. Two good AFC teams. Playoff bound. Likely to run into each other in the playoffs. I'm giving Steelers the edge here, but what do you guys think?
I got the Colts.
I think that
I say.
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay. I'd say if it's flip-flopped, if the Steelers play in Indianapolis wins. But since the Steelers are at home, it's cold up in the north, it's snowing, it's windy, it's going everywhere. The Colts are an indoor stadium, remember? They play in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Considering the Midwest, that's a nice place. So I think Pittsburgh pulls it out a bit. It's not close. It's a big win for them. I don't think the Colts can do much on that game.
Sportsman, what do you think?
Sadly, I have to disagree with you there. I think that if you look at how the Steelers have played lately, not like they start off 11-0. They lost to Washington, and ever since then they have not looked good. And I think that the Colts, they run the ball very well with Hines in the backfield, of course. And I think that they were going to give him a challenge, and I got the Colts in this game.
Okay. And I agree with you. Trending wise, the Steelers are not looking good as of late. The Colts, but there is that home field factor.
Yeah.
So Casey says Steelers. Oh no, you said Colts.
Yeah, I said the Colts.
You said Colts. Jose says Steelers. And Nick, what did you say?
I'm going to say the Colts. I think that really talented defense flusters Ben Roethlisberger, pressures him. I still have it going to the wire. In fact, I have it going to overtime, but I think the Colts get it done, kind of how they did against the Packers with that overtime win. Okay,
well, based on that then, you know what? I'm going to change, because I don't like the Steelers. So I'm going to switch this. I'm changing my thing. I'm going to go with the Colts in this one. We'll see how that affects the picture. So then in the next game, we've got the Bengals at the Texans. Boy, a couple of Clash of the Titans right here. I don't know. I got the Texans in this game. What do you guys have?
Yeah,
I have the Texans.
All right, Texans.
Good.
If it was Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I know,
Joe Burrow,
but we don't.
Story.
They don't.
Yeah.
So we got Bears of the Jaguars in a huge, firework display of power teams. I'm leaning towards the Bears. Leaning towards the Bears in this one. Jaguars are horrible. Falcons at Chiefs. I think that's an easy one. Chiefs in that game. Then we got the Panthers at Washington.
I think that'll be relatively close, but I'm going to take Washington.
I'm going to take Washington as well. Any disagreements there?
I think that I just wanted to, I actually didn't say this back at the previous game. I think Washington does win that, but the Falcons every single year can come into a game and somehow upset a team like they did last year against the Niners. And I think even though I have the Chiefs winning this game, this could be a potential loss for the Chiefs, I think.
Okay, it could be a little bit of a trap game potentially.
I think the Chiefs pull the Falcons out. I don't think the Falcons have a chance.
The Falcons are a weird team. Falcons are one of those teams that are one of the most talented, mediocre teams ever. They just find ways to lose in the most bizarre of ways. I feel bad for David in Atlanta Sports Live in the ATL having to watch his team self-implode so much. And with so much talent in there. All right, so we're going with Washington in the Panthers-Washington game. Broncos at Chargers. I don't know. What do you guys have on this one? Chargers got the win. Eagles at Cowboys. Got to go with the Eagles, especially with Jalen Hurts running the show over there. Now here's the one where I've got to take passion versus practicality here. Rams at Seattle for the rematch. You guys go ahead.
Seattle. Close game, overtime. I think it's going to be a lot like it was
Monday night last year
at home. What?
Yeah, Monday night last year with the kick that just barely blew away.
Where the kicker missed. Although I don't have their kicker missing again, I have our kicker, Jason Myers, kicking the game-winning field goal as time expires. We always seem to split with the Rams and the Cardinals. So, yeah, I have us doing that again.
I do as well. What about, I'll have Sports Nerd go last. Let's get Jose. Jose, you going with the Seahawks in this one?
Yes, I am going with the Seahawks. And just like Nick said, it's a close game. It's going to come down to a field goal or touchdown. I think Seattle has to pull it out. It'd be like a crushing defeat going into Week 17, especially against a 49er team that probably has Garoppolo and Kittle back. It'd be crushing defeat like last year, and we have to win.
Well, and this game, assuming everything plays out as we said last for the week of this week, that will be for the division. Not necessarily theoretically, the last week could also change that, but this really, for the head-to-head, decides the division between these two teams. So this is our playoff game. This is like it was against the Niners last year, where the winner took the division. This is the game where if we're going to take it, the West back from, prevent the Rams from getting it, it's going to have to happen in this game. So huge implications. So what does KC Sports Nerd think from a Chiefs standpoint, without any horse in the game here? Who do you see winning this game?
I like to give my very sort of realistic and what I think will happen opinions here. So here's what I think it's going to happen. The Rams, first of all, I'm going to really have to flash back here to what Stephen A. said, putting the Seahawks in as a top 5 team in the league. Disagree with that 100%. The Rams, in my opinion, are a top 5 team in the league. And here's the reason why. Aaron Donald is a beast. That guy, you literally 6 sacks as a whole against the Patriots. They can really go in. Now, I think that it will not happen this game. I think that it will struggle a little bit because it's tough to be a team twice in a season, and I got the Seahawks winning it in a close one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I like the sound of that. MC Stove corrected me. I was wrong. It was a Thursday night game. You're right. I said Monday night, didn't I?
Yeah.
I knew it was prime time. Thursday. Yeah, they were wearing the greenies.
Prime time, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Prime time.
We're undefeated in those greenies. I wish we could just wear those Grinch suits all the time, because that seems to be our that's like kryptonite. You remember how kryptonite was green, wasn't it? So it's like the kryptonite to all teams when we wear that stuff. It's because they're so ugly. I can't take it. Not a fan, but I like when we win in them. All right. By the way, the Bills-Broncos game update 28-13 now in the third quarter. Bills on top. No surprise there. Okay. So then we're to another key game. Now, this could go either way. Again, this is a crucial game. Packers, the Titans at the Packers. I still feel like Packers is one of the dominant teams in the NFC. I can't see Titans rolling in there and taking them a bit. Let's hear what you guys have to say.
I have the Titans.
You're picking the Titans?
So do
okay.
I.
Wow,
because
really?
of the run game. And because Green Bay struggles against the run.
They do.
Yep.
They do.
And we're gonna go back to the game where the Vikings came into town and they threw the ball under 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
They can do if you take that's like the formula that they did against Lamar Jackson. If the Titans can use the formula they did against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in the divisional, and they do it against Green Bay, they can beat that Green Bay team, just like Minnesota did with Dalvin Cook, where they ran all over that Green Bay defense. Same with Derrick Henry. He's even impossible to bring down. I think if Green Bay wins, it's a really close game. It's like tight. It's coming down like tight. They stop him on 4th down. But if the Titans win, it's going to be I think the Titans can pull this out, and I really think I'm picking them to win. The Titans to win.
All right, so two of you guys saying the Titans. Though, well, Nick, is that unanimous from the panel? Because I'll change it if I get a unanimous decision here. Nick, what do you think?
Well, the rest of the NFL's kryptonite is our green uniforms. The Packers' kryptonite is the run game. Who's a better, arguably, Derrick Henry, one of the best running backs in the game. He's a powerhouse. He's a monster, and he will run over those Packers defenders to victory. I have the Titans in a semi-close game, and that was Seattle's call from the football gods.
Okay, all right. Well, I will change that game. Switch it from. I like that result anyway. Titans over the Packers. I like it.
Yeah.
So then we go to the final game of Week 16, and that is the Bills at the Patriots. Bills playing amazing right now. Bills to finally put the stomp on the AFC East and say, "Sorry, Patriots, your run of how many straight years of division titles ends, and the Bills take it here." I'm going with the Bills. Any disagreement there?
I have to say, though, is that tonight with a win for the Bills would clinch the division for them, actually.
Oh, they already have it. Oh, I guess.
Yeah. So if they win tonight, if they win today, then they do. So what I think is...
yeah, that's true. And it's already going to happen. But I guess it's more of the sort of exclamation point saying that we took this division and I'm going to stomp you on the way out the door. So clearly the power has shifted. The power has already shifted at this point. So, okay. All right. So that puts us into the final week, week 17. And let's see where we are here with that.
The Bills have just scored again. It's 35-13.
Oh my gosh, they're just tearing it up. Well, like we saw it. It was close, sort of, but an illusion of being close. All right, let's bang through these real quick.
They're showing the stats right now. AFC East champs.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so as we're talking about it, they're already the AFC East champs. Okay, so in Week 17, we've got the Dolphins at the Bills. The Bills are on fire. We'll take that one. Jets at New England. New England will get a win here. Ravens at the Bengals. Ravens will win. Steelers at Cleveland.
Ooh. Okay. I would say just because I love how Baker Mayfield has been playing, especially against the Ravens, I think he can have another game like that in them. They're at home. They have the fans in front of them, and I got the Browns in this game.
All right. What about you, Jose?
I think the Browns can do it. I see a pathway to victory for them. I see them running the ball, doing a really good job, throwing the ball in defense. I think Pittsburgh keeps it close, but I think the Browns can take that game from them as well. Once we see the bracket, possibly make things a bit closer in the division, or possibly see what happens depending on what we gave Pittsburgh, how many losses we give Pittsburgh here. So.
All right. Well, Nick, you can get me to change it and do another loss to the Steelers here. Are you going to make it unanimous and go with the Browns? All right.
Steelers are going to lose.
All right, we'll go with the Browns. We'll get the Browns and keep knocking the Steelers down here. All right. Steelers limping their way into the end of the 2020 season. So then we go Titans at Texans. That's the Titans win. Jaguars at Colts. Colts will win. Chargers at the Chiefs. Chiefs will win. Dallas.
Now hold on here. See, this is where the Chiefs, in this sense, I believe, have already clinched the number one seed.
Are we going to be one of those rest their starter situations?
Yeah, I think they're going to rest Mahomes. However, the Chargers, I think, are going to dice out Herbert, and I think they're going to win.
What I would say, though, is that I can see where you're coming from there, although I don't exactly know what the exact scenario is after week 16. What if we just win after next week? Do we just already clinch it? I think that's what it is.
You will, because I mean, you guys would be 14-1 at this point, and based on our projections, Buffalo's the next closest, and they would be 13 or 12-3. So they can't catch you guys. So it makes sense. Actually, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So the Chiefs may not put their full arsenal out there, and the Chargers have nothing really to play for either. But they're All right.
Yeah.
So, Nick, what do you think? It's enough that it just becomes a moot point that they're not even going to try to win this game, or at least not.
Well, is their backup Matt Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, and if they don't play Mahomes, I don't think they play their number one receiver, which is Tyreek Hill. I think they might play a bit of Travis Kelce, but yeah, I don't think they can get it done.
All right. Well, it'll be one of those gimme's that we don't really care things. All right, so we'll go Chargers on that one. All right, let's go to this NFC East finale here. Dallas at New York. Giants with this one.
Giants.
Yeah.
Washington at Eagles. This one has, again, become a little more interesting because you don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be. Is it going to be Haskins versus Hurts? Is it going to be Smith versus Hurts? I think for sure it looks like, unless Hurts starts to tank here in the last couple of weeks, I don't see him giving up his starting position. He seems to have injected new life into the Eagles. What do you think in this game? At this point, I think Washington will be the division winner. So the Eagles trying to play spoiler. I don't know if that's even going to be a thing. But what do you guys think?
I think it's going to be Hurts's show. I think it's going to be Washington's show because it's really going to be Hurts's first game of playing a top 10, top 5 defense. And when you're a rookie playing a top 5 defense and you haven't had preseason, you've only played 4 games. Yeah, I see the Washington winning.
Okay, so go with Washington. That's Nick's take. Jose, Washington or Eagles?
I think Washington pulls it out.
Okay.
Close. Jalen Hurts could. He's no matter whatever team you're playing, he's a good quarterback. I've seen what he can do. But I think Washington pulls it out because of their defense and against that Eagles offensive line, which has been nothing but horrendous this year.
All right.
They've been Carson Wentz has been bombshelled.
Well, let's go with Washington. That's already 3 votes for Washington. We'll stick with Washington here.
Can I bring up one of the previous games? I think I didn't say something about it. Actually.
Which one? Yeah, which
it
game?
was the Buffalo-Miami game. I actually want to say here is that I think Miami will definitely have something to play for in this game, and Buffalo, as of winning right now, they will have wrapped up the division. True. I do not think that they will actually have a chance to move up in the seeding, and I think the Dolphins win that game, actually.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, I guess it depends. I mean, the second seed, it's KC's got the top seed wrapped up, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee their position in the second or third seed, depending on how it's tight there. It's tight between
second
Pittsburgh
seed and third seed's a lot different.
and even with Tennessee. So I don't know. This a couple games go differently. They might be trying to play to secure their spot there. So I'm not going to apply the rest. They're going to rest them formula on that one. I don't think that was going to apply necessarily. All right, let's go to Green Bay at Chicago. I'm going Green Bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Vikings at the Lions. I got the Vikings.
So do I.
Although, it is NFC North, those teams tend to kind of play each other tough, but I think still the Vikings.
Yeah.
Lions are not that good.
No, and they got Bevel.
And Stafford's injured. Stafford is injured too.
Bevel's kind of.
I feel bad for Stafford. He's a good quarterback, and he's a good person, and he's just been on a terrible team.
Totally.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate for him.
He should go to a team like Indianapolis once Phillip Rivers gets out of there, or he should go lead a new team. I think personally.
All right, so Vikings beat the Lions. Saints at the Panthers. Saints.
Ooh.
Well, I guess you could. Would the Saints have already clinched the number one? I don't think they would have.
Situation.
No, they need to.
No,
win.
because so the Packers and Saints are the same record, right?
Yeah,
but I think Green Bay holds the tiebreaker though. I think.
Yes, they do. So again, if our predictions are correct, yes, they would be firmly etched in the second seed. But we don't know how are they going to play. So
our predictions, it's Green Bay, New Orleans.
Well, we're gonna break down the seed. That's why we get through these last few games because we're gonna put this on screen and actually look at it here.
Close. Really close.
But give me. Well, let's say they play it straight up. I think it's the Saints, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oakland at Oakland. Las Vegas Raiders at Denver Broncos. Boy,
Yeah, I got
Oakland's
the
not
Broncos
looking.
also.
I keep saying Oakland. The Raiders not looking so good, man. They have just been on this downward turn. When it looked like the one team who could stand up against the Chiefs, they can't beat anybody else though. So I don't know who I got in this one. I kind of went with the
Although
Broncos.
I do have them over the Broncos. I just think, I don't know. I have a feeling they'll pull out.
I think that what I would say there is that I think that it really is that the Broncos, I mean, they're not good, but the thing is that I think just because of some of the weapons on the Raiders side, I think he has some that are going to be tough to guard, like Henry Ruggs. I think they'll get back, and I think, of course, Nelson Aguilar, Darren Waller is going to be very, very tough to guard. So I think the Raiders win that one too.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so
the Raiders.
You want to go Raiders? Okay.
Raiders. Yeah, the way that the Broncos are playing right now, Drew Lock is throwing the ball like a potato, and he really needs some help.
It really has no playoff implications at this point, likely, but we'll say Raiders at this point here, just for a feel-good win for Las Vegas. All right, so now a crucial one here. Cardinals at the Rams.
Rams.
Hard
Yeah, I
to
got
pick
the
against the Rams. They are looking at the last time we saw them, man, they look like one of the best teams in the NFC right now. Hate to say it.
Rams.
Yes, Rams. All right, and then finally, Seahawks in the finale. Seahawks at the 49ers.
I hate to say, I don't see the Seahawks sweeping the Niners, so I got the Niners.
What? Really? Really? Even in this year?
I'm going by your if I'm going to go, I'm not just going by a prediction video. I mean, I don't think that they're good, but the thing is that Seattle, Tennessee does not tend to sweep division rivals, and also it's tough to beat a team twice in a year. Like we thought last year that they were going to go into the Rams in LA and that we're just going to beat them, and then they ended up not winning that one. So I think that just because of that one, I don't think that it's just going to be tough to beat a team twice in a year, and I have the Niners win that game.
Okay, KC says the Niners. How about you, Jose?
Hold your horses. The Niners can win this game, but they may not have Jimmy Garoppolo or George Kittle. In that case, if they don't have those two guys, I don't see them winning this game. So right now, as it stands, Jimmy G and George Kittle are nowhere to be found. I mean, they're not practicing yet. So I would stay with Seattle until, even if they come back, it's still in consideration that Seattle's going to win because Jimmy G still may not be healthy and George Kittle still may not be healthy. So I'm sticking with Seattle.
So you're sticking with Seattle. All right, Nick.
I'm going to go Seattle. Assuming Nick Mullins plays, even if Nick Mullins doesn't play and it's Jimmy G and their full arsenal with George Kittle, I still say Seattle. I don't think the Niners can get it done. I think they have a good coaching staff, but I just think they're too banged up.
Well, I'm going with Seattle really to finish strong the rest of this season, starting from with this week and the remaining two, because I do feel like we are getting guys back, that the injuries, knock on wood that nobody else gets injured who's starting now, but that we are going to continue to get guys back to help bolster this roster. And if we can get to that point where it's like the opposite of last year, where last year was like we limped into the finale, this year I feel like we're going the other direction. And if we can do that and get some of our players back who we haven't had over the past few weeks, I think we'll look a lot different than the team that went through that kind of bad stretch. So I'm feeling confident we will hit our stride and have some momentum going into the playoffs. So Seattle in the finale against the Niners.
It's also that we actually didn't mention this. Actually, Rashad Penny returning this week.
Yeah. I don't expect a lot of carries from him, but just kind of get knock the rust off and just kind of get his feet under him a little bit. And I just love the fact that we got some more depth at running back.
Save him for the playoffs.
Yeah, so it'll be nice to have him back. And Greg Olsen, who I thought was done when he went down. I thought that's it. He's going to broadcasting. He's finished with the NFL, and he's back potentially putting on the uniform on Sunday. So Greg Olsen could come back and finish what he started with a pretty good start with Seattle before he got injured. So, all right, so let's pull up the actual brackets based on what we chose here, and this is what the playoff seeding would look like. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. So with this, that would put. Well, let's start on the left on the AFC side. That puts Kansas City in the number 1 seed with the bye, and then you got 2nd seed Buffalo or the 7th seed Baltimore at the Bills. 6th seed Colts at the Steelers, and then the 5th seed Browns at the Titans. That would be your AFC first round playoff picture.
I love that 4-5 matchup. I really love that matchup.
Yeah, that 4-5 is really fun. And actually 6-3. 6-3 looks good. We talked about one of those games too, so it's all really
and that
interesting.
2-7, I like that.
Actually, they're all really good. This is really they're all good teams here that can really, who knows, someone could come here and kind of be the Cinderella out of this group.
This will be a very entertaining playoffs if this all happens.
Yeah, so now let's talk about the NFC, the one that we really care about as the Seahawks here. So Green Bay projected to be the number 1 seed with the bye at 12-4, and then we've got 7th seed Arizona at the 2nd seed New Orleans Saints, who would have the same record as Seattle, but based on tiebreakers, they would have the 2nd seed. That would put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady with a rematch in the playoffs against the 3rd seed Seattle Seahawks. So there we go. This is where we end up here, playing Tampa Bay at home, because we would get the division based on what we predicted. Seattle would host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 6th seed at 3rd seed. And then for the final seed, we'd have the Rams at Washington. So that is your playoff seeding picture as it stands right now. And
Green Bay
if
in
the
the
season,
1 seed, that looks really.
I hate that Green Bay seed. Kansas City was kind of expected, but man, yeah. So now it kind of opens up the question here is, how far? I got to make it Seahawks centric, of course. So of those teams, I'm going to shrink this down so we can see our faces again here. But of those teams that we're talking about in the playoffs, now that we've seen it, and there's really no surprise there, because I think all these teams were teams that we all kind of thought, yeah, I think they would be here at some point or another. Which of these teams, do we think is going to be the one the toughest to get past? When I think about all these different combinations, here we go. I mean, can we get past Tampa Bay? I guess is the first question. Can Seattle get past Tampa Bay?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think they can.
Yes.
All right.
It's going to be a scary game, to be honest. It'll be a scary game because, it's Brady, playoff Brady. Brady hasn't been up in Seattle, though, since 2012.
Every time. Yeah. And last time he was in Seattle, it didn't go so well for him.
Can we pick the games too, or no?
We could. No, I don't think this. Yeah. I don't think the playoff machine has that option, because I don't have the option to pick past this point. I think it just sets up the playoff matchups. I believe. I don't think I can. Right? I don't think I. It doesn't get me beyond week 17, so I don't think I can go past that. But I guess if we were to do theoretically, we get by Tampa Bay in the first round. That means we would play as the 3rd seed. We would play the winner of the New Orleans Saints, Arizona Cardinals. Right? Because first round, because number 1 seed would play the winner of the 5th and 4th seed. So,
that's right.
So we would have to play. That's the first question is, who wins between the Saints and the Cardinals? Those pesky Cardinals.
Actually, if the Cardinals somehow upset them, doesn't the Cardinals get Green Bay? Because they're the lowest seed?
Well, that's right. Because I guess I was assuming that the New Orleans Saints would win. But if the Cardinals were to actually upset the Saints, they would be, as a 7th seed. Yeah, they would get Green Bay. So if the Cardinals, I was going to ask that question first. Who wins, Cardinals or the Saints?
Oh, Saints.
Actually,
assuming they have Drew Brees, that's the big one.
They're gonna have Drew Brees this weekend.
Yeah,
I think they'll have Drew Brees. I don't believe in the Cardinals getting getting past this one.
I really look at this Arizona New Orleans game. It's going to be a close one, but I think New Orleans can pull it out. I see maybe Arizona can do something. I mean, let's not count out Arizona. They're a good team. They're a good football team. They're a scary team, but
they can be, but I just don't think there's consistent. New Orleans got a scary defense, and if Drew Brees is healthy, Alvin Kamara, if they get all cylinders running in New Orleans is a hard place to win, almost as hard as Green Bay. Mm-hmm. All right, so we say New Orleans will win. Let's say they win that game. So New Orleans wins, Seattle wins. Who wins between the Rams and Washington? I think you got to go with the Rams, right?
Yeah. I'd go with the Rams.
So that puts
I honestly, I like that Seattle in this situation does have the 3 seed, but if you're talking about like winnable like aspect, I mean Brady, if he's Brady like in the Patriot days, he can just absolutely just like
yeah, but he's not.
come to play
He's not Brady in the
but he's
Patriot
not.
days.
I know,
So-
but I mean I think that originally if I was just making this, the NFC winner I feel like is just the easiest one that you possibly could have gotten out of that. But I think that definitely the Rams, even if you had to play. That's why I think the Rams are just too tough a defense. I just think that even though just that offensive side of Washington is just not a real threat, I don't think.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, Terry McLaurin just really the only target that really is really good on that team. And I think that just the amount of sacks that the Rams front four can just get is really, really something special. And I think that the Rams do get that win.
All right, so it'd be the Rams. So based on that, we would play the Saints in the next round, in the divisional round, and Green Bay would host the Rams. Well, and it's in a lot of ways I like this better because I would rather play in New Orleans than play in Green Bay. Green Bay is like our kryptonite. We cannot beat Green Bay in Green Bay. They're tough to beat. Period.
And on the other side, though, technically, you guys are used to the noise. So even though you play in New Orleans, it's loud there, but you guys are used to it also. So really, the noise isn't really a factor.
The noises are not a factor this year. So yeah, the home field is different. But Green Bay, there's that weather aspect. There's just something about Green Bay that's more than just the crowd. I don't even think it's the crowd. It's just something about being in the mystique of Green Bay, and it just has not worked out for us. We haven't won there since the 90s, I think. So we would play New Orleans, and then the Rams would face Green Bay. So I think Seattle could beat New Orleans. If we're playing good ball, I think we could beat. I think we could do it. It would not be easy, but I like our chances better than if we were the other way around playing Green Bay. So I think we could beat New Orleans. Let's just say, for argument's sake, just to keep this alive as a Seahawks fan channel, they will beat the New Orleans Saints. So then they would be in the NFC Championship, and it would come down to Green Bay or the Rams at Green Bay. Who wins that game? Can the Rams defeat Green Bay? And then we'd have a game in Seattle. Seattle would host the NFC Championship game if the Rams could upset Green Bay. How cool would that be? And how mad would I be that we can't be there? But that would be the scenario. If the Rams could beat the Packers, upset the Packers at home, we would have a third rematch against the Rams for the NFC Championship.
I'll say this. I like the Rams against Green Bay 100% more than I do the Cardinals or the football team. However, unless the Rams can really pound it down Green Bay's throat with Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers, and Sean McVay is going to have to cook up some spicy offense. He's going to have to. Everything is going to have to be practically perfect for the Rams to beat Green Bay, in my opinion. In being realistic, I sadly think it'll be a close game, but I think Green Bay will beat the Rams and head to the NFC Championship game.
Cameron Hughes says Green Bay can't stop the run to save their lives, dude. They're not making it past the NFC Championship game. So he thinks that maybe the Green Bay can get stopped. By the way, Alina Dahl, moderator in the Super Chat, says, if you had your pick for the next game uniform, would you go old school Hawks or all black? Oh, I got to go old school. I've been wanting old school for years.
Ooh, all black.
I would love to see that old school uniform. The closest I got to it was playing in Madden and choosing the old school uniforms, and it was kind of weird. I see Russell Wilson. It reminds me
Old
of
school.
John Kitna and the days in the past. But
And also, to state the Green Bay, quick Green Bay fact, you guys have not beaten them in Green Bay since 1999.
I knew that. I knew it was.
So
That
not
was
exactly
Mike
25 years.
Yeah, that was Mike
just
Holmgren's first year with the Seahawks. That's how long it's been. Yeah. So then, and then if it comes down to it, and it's a Seahawks rematch with the Rams, well, obviously we had to beat the Rams the second time to get here. So if I knew we beat them the second time, well, I think we could beat them the third time. So I like that. I like that path. If it works out this way, I do like this path in terms of playing Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and then the Rams.
And this is what I've said, I think, since the beginning of since I think the Giants game, when I was thinking about the NFC, is that the real goal for really the Seahawks is to get past the round you guys have not made it past in
The division.
the year you guys went on that repeat run to Super Bowl 49, the divisional round.
Yeah,
and
well,
that's
the last three
main
NFC
games,
Championship games, we have made it to the Super Bowl. We're undefeated the last three, of course, and they were at home. And if we had the Rams, we would be hosting the NFC Championship game at home. I mean, it would be the formula that so far is 3 for 3, the last 3 appearances. So I do like that aspect.
Now, I think as much as we want Seattle to face the Rams I'm going to go from 2 different viewpoints here. As much as we want Seattle to host LA, I don't think it's going to be much closer. That Rams team is going to be more prepared, especially with Sean McVay. He's going to be the Rams team is going to be a lot better. The game's going to be a lot closer if we are to host the Rams. Now, granted, I don't think it's going to happen. Green Bay, I think we're going to have to, if the path that we have right now, we're going to have to go up to Green Bay. Green Bay, of course, nobody wins. I mean, barely anybody beats Green Bay.
We almost beat them last year, by the way. Do you remember that game? We should have beaten the Packers last year, if not for a drop pass by whoever he was, Malik Turner, who's no longer with the team. And if we stopped that fourth down play, that I had a questionable placement of the ball with Jimmy Graham getting the first down.
They did stop him.
Yeah, the yellow line's not official, but yeah, it looked like it was short to me. And if either of those things happened, I think Seattle would have come back and won that game. So they're not, it's not like we got blown out. They got blown out when they went to play the Niners, but that was in San Francisco. So.
Let me add on that.
But when we played the Rams the first time and we got beat bad, we were not at our best. We were probably playing at our worst during that time. We had a lot of injuries, missing a lot of guys. I don't think we had Chris Carson there. We were not the team that I'm saying we look like we'll be as we start moving ahead the next 2-3 weeks. So, so there we go.
Let me add on that, all these games come down to simple mistakes that the Seahawks make. And to be honest, I've been just waiting to let it out. For the past 6 years, we could have gone had it not been for about maybe 2-3 games over the course where we just lost in a blowout, where we just came out snapping terribly. We could have had perfect records. We could have been great. We could have been the NFC team of this, like the best NFC team, if it weren't for 2-3 little executional errors. Now, granted,
totally.
Yeah,
you can say that about a lot of teams, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look at the Saints. The Saints should have been in the Super Bowl, right? Let's just get that out of the way 2 years ago. They should have been in the Super Bowl, if not for bad. And the Rams should not have been there. It should have been the Saints in that game. They got robbed.
The same with the Chiefs.
Because if it wasn't for
the Chiefs, enough of that offside thing, you would have maybe had 2 instead of 1.
He was not offside.
And if Jimmy Garoppolo could hit a deep pass, they could have been Super Bowl champs. And Casey Sportsner could be crying in his milk right now, saying, "Man, we could have won with you, Jimmy Garoppolo, the deep pass." But that didn't happen. So congratulations to you. All right, I got to get some calls in because I said we are going to go for an hour. It's already been an hour, and I do have a Coach's Corner show at 5, and I want to get some of these guys' calls in. So let's go. Hopefully technology will work.
Wait, did we do our predictions for the NFC Championship?
No, we didn't. Okay, so, then the scenario plays out like we said, right? So Seattle hosts LA, and we win, right?
Yeah.
We're going to win.
I said Green Bay would host us.
Yeah, I think Green Bay hosts us, too.
But I'm saying LA is going to upset Green Bay, so we will host the Rams at home. It has to be, because if it's anything else, we're screwed.
Not necessarily. Because what is the Green Bay's number one weakness? The run game. If we're going to, by then, have, hopefully,
Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, and
Carlos
Hyde.
And we're also a lot better than we were last year. Last year we were banged up. Dwayne Brown was coming off an injury.
We had no running back except Marshawn Lynch.
We have
beast mode.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
That's true. But
here's how I see it going down. I think Seattle plays at Green Bay, and the game is really close. We do a good job. Fourth quarter, we're winning, but Green Bay comes back to score, tie game. Overtime. The ultimate redemption. We want the ball. We're going to score. On the interception to end the game. Russell Wilson leads us down the field methodically at the 1-yard line. What does he do? He throws it at the back of the end zone to Tyron Lockett, who caresses it into his chest, and he catches it 2 feet in. Touchdown. Super Bowl, baby.
And then that shuts
That
up
would be
all
awesome.
the 1-yard liners.
That would be we exercise our 1-yard line passing demons. We get past the demon of never winning in like 20-something years in Green Bay, and then we go back to the Super Bowl with all these
Where we
demons
beat
exercised.
Kansas City.
And let's just simplify. Let's simplify the AFC because we don't have time to break the whole thing down. But is there any team that can beat the Chiefs realistically? Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills, Colts, Steelers, Browns, Titans. Who out of that group has any chance of beating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship? Casey, you should speak to this. These are your teams. These are your people, man. Yeah. Who are you most afraid of as a defending champion, Super Bowl champion fan here? Who are you most afraid of facing in this group of 6 teams?
Well, if I'm just going by, just as overall teams, I would easily just go with the Bills. That's probably the team I'm probably most fearing.
I agree. They look like the most consistent. They look good. Josh Allen looks like a really good. The more I see him, the more I like him as a quarterback. Not like him because he beat us, but like him in the sense that he looks like a legitimate threat in the AFC. Maybe not quite Patrick Mahomes level, but he looks like of all the quarterbacks here consistently. He's got the goods.
I actually, my sleeper in the AFC, Tennessee. Here's the reason why. If you look at the Chiefs' defense, there's one weakness on this side: stopping the run. And then if you look at that, if somehow the Tennessee can, and you saw it last year, they got some upsets last year against the Patriots with Brady, and then in Baltimore over Lamar Jackson, who was unanimously voted MVP, and then they get to the AFC Championship game, which they will again have to come to us. It could be a challenge because you saw if they would just ran the ball, and you think about that to last year, and then that Niners game, and Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, acknowledging after the game, thank God they stopped running the football. If they would have just kept running the football, they would not have been Super Bowl champs, and that's clearly what would have happened. So, although I think the Bills are the most rounded team out of it, if I was just going to go by just one thing that we should be most afraid of, it should be the run game, and that's what I see in Tennessee, and I think that could be a very big challenge.
Well, and that's true. They do have one of the best running games.
Same with Cleveland. Cleveland is a good running team.
Oh, yeah, they got a double-headed monster. They have 2 monsters at running back.
Although I think Cleveland can't play in cold weather, to be honest.
You say all that, but then I can see that happening. But the Chiefs I have this every time the Chiefs get the ball, it always feels like, oh, it's a end of the second quarter with a minute and a half left. He's got to go 75 yards. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It goes out say like
they can score in 3
so rarely
seconds.
not get it done. I just don't see any of these teams really being able to stop Kansas City. Yes, they can run the ball up, but Kansas City can answer and score in like 2 minutes. So it'll take Titans like 5 minutes to score a touchdown running the ball down the field, and then KC will just come back and score in like a half a flash, and all of a sudden, boom, okay, they're back.
Yeah.
And of course, but then KC's defense got to get worn down. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just see Seahawks Chiefs in the Super Bowl, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I wanted that last year, man. I wanted that last year, but we were close.
Get like a whole bunch of collabs over.
Yeah, but
we'll finally get to hear the 12s.
It's going to be if they did make it to the Super Bowl, it'd be the weirdest season. Yeah, whoever makes it to the Super Bowl, that nobody was there to witness it. All right, so let's talk to some calls because the lines are piling up and the time is fleeting. So let's get to Seahawks fan for life. Let's start with this person. Hopefully this will work. Seahawks fan for life.
The lines are piling up and the time is fleeting.
You got to mute your YouTube
Seahawks
there.
Fan for life. Let's start with this person. Hopefully this will work.
Seahawks fan for life. I'm hearing myself in the future.
How you doing?
Hey, good. So, welcome to the show. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
How you doing?
Good. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's your name and where are you from?
Okay.
You got a question?
Norb, I did some of those picks, but I would technically think the Vikings would beat the Saints in the week, was it 15, 16?
Oh wow.
Wait, so we're going back to week 15? Well, let's see
because last year I actually cheered for the Vikings to beat the Saints, and they did that.
Okay, so let's go. Since we have the playoff machine,
they could still beat Saints, and
right,
the Saints.
Let's do a little exercise here. Let's put the Vikings as the win.
Another session against the Vikings.
Let's see what happens when we do the playoff machine and we put the Vikings winning against the Saints in Week 16. Let's see how that screws things up.
Seattle goes
and then Seattle goes to the second seed.
And plays Minnesota.
And plays Minnesota. Yes, please. Can I have another? So everybody, we got to be Vikings fans big time next week.
My opinion, because maybe it might be last year the Saints get screwed again. Or
okay.
Off of a
is that a Christmas Day game? I think it is. Is that like the Friday Christmas Day game?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a Friday Christmas Day game.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to stick with this because this makes things very interesting. All right. Well, thank you for that.
I think it is too.
Yeah. Christmas Day. Boy, I know what I'm going to want for Christmas. That would be awesome. I didn't even think about that how much I really want the Vikings to win that game. Who would have thought the Vikings could still sneak in?
Yeah. It could go either way if it's a Christmas game.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that suggestion. I'm going to keep that up here, and we'll go with that for the time being until we hear something else. So let's go to another caller, see if somebody else has some feedback on this. Cameron Hughes. I thought he was going to join the panel, but he's joining us remotely on Discord. Let's get Cameron Hughes in here. Cameron Hughes. Cameron, are you there? Did you not hear me?
First to Cameron.
I'm not sure if they're not hearing me in the Discord.
They say I don't know if this is old chatting, but they say they cannot hear you.
They can't hear me. Okay.
Yeah, they can't hear you in the Discord.
Let's try.
It's a Norb problem.
Let's try this. All right. How about now? Cameron Hughes, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, there you go. Hey, it's working now. All right. Cameron Hughes. Or the other guy just kept talking. He wasn't listening to me. Cameron Hughes, welcome to the fan panel. You got some other ideas of this playoff picture?
Yeah. I don't think we're going to beat the Rams, unfortunately.
In week 16?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. All right, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if we lose to the Rams, how that shakes things up. According to the playoff predictor, suddenly, now this is still assuming the Saints lose to the Vikings in Week 16, suddenly Seattle would drop to the 6th seed, and we would be at New Orleans for the first round of the playoffs. And the Rams would get them. The Rams would trade places with us, basically, so the Rams would get the 2nd seed. They would host the Vikings.
So I think that's favorable because I don't think the Rams would beat us 3 times in a season. So if we get them later in the playoffs, then I think we could beat them.
Yeah, but we would be playing them at Los Angeles. I want to see what happens if the Saints still beat the Vikings. So let's go to the worst case scenario. The Saints still win and the Seahawks lose to LA. Let's see what happens here. So Seattle
we have to play the Rams again.
We play the Rams. No matter what, the Rams are just like always there, like a bad zit on your face. Just can't get rid of them. So we would be the 6th seed at Los Angeles in the first round, as Los Angeles would be the 3rd seed, and the Cardinals would end up playing the Saints in the first round as the 7th seed, and then Tampa Bay would play Washington. So that's not terrible. I mean, at least we're still in the playoffs. We're just not. We just don't get the home game. We don't get the home game.
Yeah, but you'll be in the playoffs. You just win tomorrow, so that's
right.
I think we can beat the Rams if we play them a 3rd time. I don't think the Rams are going to beat us 3 times in a season.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
I just don't see
happened before.
Yeah, I don't see as much as I still don't see 3 times in a season. I agree with you there, but I just don't see 2 times in a season. That's why I got Seattle. I mean, as good as that defense is, it's hard just to beat a team twice in the season, and the logic there just leads me to go with Seattle there.
We beat the Eagles twice last season. It can
Yeah, I
be
mean,
done.
I'm just talking like divisional opponent,
Odds-wise,
especially like in
true.
a tough team.
Interdivision.
I want to
Yeah.
see just for grins, what would happen if we lost to Washington tomorrow and then lost to the Rams? Can we still win? Can we still make the playoffs,
10 and-
beating the Niners
we
with a
would as the
10-6
seventh.
record? We would be the
Still the sixth.
Actually, it's still the sixth seed.
Mm.
It's still the sixth seed. So we could actually lose tomorrow, lose against the Rams, beat the Niners, and still make the playoffs. According if
But if
everything
you
else.
lose out, you're out. But then you're out basically if you lose to the
But then that
Niners.
49er game, let's see, if we lose against the Niners in that last one, we're out of the playoffs.
No, we aren't.
We're still in the 7th seed. We could lose
So
out
we could literally
and still be
lose
in the playoffs.
out and still be in the playoffs.
Oh,
Well,
actually,
also that-
because
that
there's
depends on
other factors.
teams.
There's other
Right.
factors,
Yeah, there's
obviously.
other factors.
Well, the other teams we've been battled with, like the Cardinals. The Cardinals actually jump ahead of us. They'd be in the 6th seed.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who else could potentially, knock us out if we did. But that's somewhat reassuring to know that even if we played like garbage the last 3 games and limped our way into the postseason, we could still be in it. But let's not look at that ugly picture. We're gonna win tomorrow.
How do we get the first seed?
How do we get the
These
number
two.
1 seed? We'd have to win out, and Green Bay's got to drop a game somewhere.
No, and then the same. So I would say that because Green Bay has, I actually somehow let's just say that Green Bay loses tonight. If we have that picture there,
Okay, let's look at that.
Then-
So if Green Bay loses tonight and Seattle wins out, so if the Carolina Panthers somehow pull off the miracle and beat Green Bay, we're still
Oh no, but then
only.
you have, because you need the Saints to lose
The
a conference
Saints have
game
to
too.
lose.
They lose to
Yeah,
the
that's the
Chiefs.
problem. Is those 2 teams are ahead of us. We've got the New Orleans have to drop a game somewhere. We have to win out, and both the Packers and the Saints have to lose a game that they're not supposed to
Don't
lose.
don't we have the
We have
Panthers
New
beating them
Orleans
the second
losing to
time?
the Chiefs. What if the Saints drop the Vikings game?
Ooh.
What if the Saints do drop the Vikings game? Okay, so we go back to that play. Oh, this might do it.
That's what,
There we go.
yeah.
Yes.
That's the path to
I
the
figured
super. That's the
this
path
is-
to the number 1
Vikings.
seed.
we
We
go.
need the Vikings to beat the Saints. For Seahawks have to win out. Vikings have to beat the Saints,
gosh.
and then the Cardinals have to, or the Packers have to lose to the Panthers.
Carol.
Jeez.
Or the
Panthers
actually,
go
or the I think there's another team on there. They also have the Week 17 game. Also, they can lose there also, and then that would also do
Yep.
it. So
We also have the
my
Packers
goodness.
already losing to the Titans, so we're already assuming
Right.
that as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, the
someone
Saints,
in the
Saints in the
chat-
last week, the Saints would play the Panthers again, and the Packers play the Bears. So
Oh, that's a good question.
yeah, Zader's in the super chat says, "Thank you for the support."
We got another super chat.
What were you saying about the Saints or the chat? Something about the chat?
Yeah, someone was asking if we only lose to the Niners, what would it look like? So everything else is
okay.
how it would, but we
Okay,
lose to the
so
Niners.
we lose to the Niners but win everything else. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that with all these goofy
Yeah.
first round changes or just more like a normal scenario? Okay,
So it'd be
if
Wow.
if we lose to the Niners and win the other 2 games and we get the help from the first and second seeds for Green Bay and the Saints to lose, we drop to the 6th seed.
wow.
And Green
So
Bay
that
still
Niner game is a
that
lot
Niner
more
game is
crucial.
important no matter what. And Green Bay and New Orleans still get the first and second seed. So no matter what, we have to win out to have a shot at it.
Guess what?
yeah, because I remember last night. If you saw Squabo's video yesterday, he said
Yeah.
they need to win out, and then they need to have the Saints, because even the Saints lose tomorrow, then they need to lose to a conference opponent because they will still hold the tiebreaker in conference games. So
Right.
really tomorrow is like they need to lose a game. So like really if they lose tomorrow, like it really won't really matter because they still would have to lose another game because
Correct.
it's not a conference opponent. So as much as it is like even if we lose tomorrow and the Saints win tomorrow, it doesn't really hurt us because it just like it doesn't really hurt them because they still need to lose to a conference opponent anyway. So
True. But
It
still the
won't
win-loss
really
record will take a hit and that would help because you got to have
Yeah.
that first. The win-loss record always comes first and then it's all the tiebreakers. So that's a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Got it.
Everyone in the chat's like calling
With
me,
Chiefs,
calling me.
Chiefs, it's simple. Just win out, you get the 1 seed. It's that simple.
Yeah, I know. You guys have an easy formula. And your formula
Yeah.
looks pretty easy the way it is. But, man, it's an uphill battle, man, for sure. And that's where you like – see, if we'd beaten the freaking Giants, which we should have
Oh,
won
yeah.
that game, this would totally be different. Would have been so different.
Totally.
Doggone it. Anyway, all right. So Cameron, thank you for being on here. I'm gonna try to get a couple more because I got I got 10 minutes before I got to wrap the show up. So where is Cameron? He's still there? Or did Cameron just go away?
Left.
Oh, he left. All right, let's go to. Try to find people I haven't talked to yet. Let's say Blove Sports. Blove Sports. Blove Sports. You're on with the group with the fan panel and NorbCam. What you got?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I never been for YouTube.
Oh well, welcome. It's you're just talking to friends here, man. So
Yeah.
do you have a question or a comment? What you got? What's on your mind?
If you went to the Super Bowl, who would be the biggest?
You broke up a little bit. You said I'm not sure if that I or the Seahawks, if went to the Super Bowl, who would be?
Seahawks.
Yeah, if the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl, what was part two?
Who would be the biggest threat?
Who would be the biggest threat?
Threat, yeah.
Yes.
Threat. Okay, all right, gotcha.
Well,
the biggest threat. I guess he's saying if we had to actually hand pick, and it's not Kansas City, is there another team that we'd be more scared of besides Kansas City?
Well, I think that if we had to just go by, if we know by the, oh wait, you said Nick to go or?
Oh, no, we're just talking.
Okay. So if I was just gonna go by like what we know is, if we're just looking at the team as a whole, what we need to say is that the defense we need to, and especially, well, we already know this coming week is obviously to get a lot of get sacks on the quarterback. I think that really even the key to be, the Chiefs are beatable to beat if you get to Patrick Mahomes. Now, if you let him do what he actually likes to do and give him all the time in the world, then that's a totally different ballgame. But if we're talking about another team in general, I don't think I can really say. I mean, the biggest one other than the Chiefs is really the Bills as a whole. But if you can just get to like do the basic execution, like play good defense, get to the quarterback, not like turn the ball over too much, I would say you can really just do any. I think you can really pick any team, but I would pick the Bills though.
I would pick the Bills as well. Really, just because again, our weakness is pass defense. I mean, I'd go Chiefs first because you guys have Tyreek Hill, and you're downhill. Your long passing game. I just feel like would tear our secondary apart. And so any team that's got that combination of a good thrower as well. I'm not as scared of teams that run the ball, I guess is what I'm saying, because our defense is actually better against teams that run, because that's actually stronger than our pass defense. That's why teams like Tennessee, teams like Cleveland, I feel like we'd have a better shot against. Baltimore too with Lamar Jackson is a little bit scary too, but he's kind of he's been shaky through this season. So yeah, Buffalo and Kansas City.
What happened to Indianapolis?
I don't think Phillip Rivers can lead them all the way.
What happened to Green Bay? They didn't do well. I mean, I guess
we're talking about if we went to the Super Bowl. We're talking about the AFC opponents.
Yeah, we're talking about if we went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Pittsburgh doesn't scare me. I think their record is way overblown. I don't think they're as good as their record says they are.
I'm just impressed how the way the Browns have played this year. This is probably the one team of all the teams that were on here. I mean, probably other than the Steelers, probably. I was not expecting them to be go undefeated the first 11 games. I mean, I was not picking the Browns to be this good at all. It's just that the coaching staff has really surprised me. And I think that's really what has really been, if there's one team that I could really say that's drastically improved from last season, it would definitely be the Browns. If I had to say that.
Oh, for sure. When you see where they came from, it was only up was the way they were going to go, and they've really taken quite the steps. Zader's in the super chat again with the third one. Thank you for the support. He says, "Hey," and I say, "Hey, back." Zader's, thank you.
Hey. Someone in the chat's asking if the Saints beat the Chiefs and the Seahawks win out, what would the playoff record or playoff?
Yeah, I wonder that too, actually.
Wait, say again, if the Saints beat the Chiefs, what?
And Seattle wins out.
The Saints beat the Chiefs and Seattle wins out. I think we have Seattle winning out.
New Orleans on top, and then nothing changes in the AFC.
No, I change it. If that scenario happens, Seattle wins out, and the Chiefs beat the Saints, we would become the number one seed. We also had those other things, though. That's also with that another loss to one of those other teams. Now, are you talking about if the Green Bay loses to whoever we chose them to lose to, and if we had the Saints losing to Carolina?
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's considering that. I think we need, no matter what, the two top teams have to lose. We have to win out, and the other two teams got to lose at least one of those games, and then we could get it.
Because the thing is, like, you need to win out. Like, the Packers need to lose, and the Chiefs have got to win. Like, at the first thing, for sure.
Right.
Like that. But then I think more realistically, like, if we're just going by, like, what we said before, like, it's got to be to, like, an NFC opponent, which is where the tiebreaker gets cut off. So, although it is tomorrow, it still is going to be, they need another loss. So, I think
they need two.
For the Packers, you need one loss, and then for the Saints, you probably need two losses.
We need two, exactly. Probably. So, that's, because once they get only just one, we drop. So, doggone it.
A lot of hope. It is.
That is such a narrow window. All right, let's try to get another call in. What time is it now? Get down to the last 5 minutes. So let's see. Let's go to who did I talk to? Oh, let's get BJ. Let's get BJ in here.
Nah.
BJ,
Who's this?
you're on with NorbCam and the fan panel. What's on your mind? BJ, going once.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. BJ, what you got?
Yeah. So, what happens if LA loses against or what team was it? They played the Cardinals and we went out.
What happens if LA loses to the Cardinals
and then we win out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we put Cardinals with the win. Seattle wins out.
2 seed.
And that's, of course, I still have some of those funky little things going on with the other teams, but we're 2 seed. But that's if Green Bay loses to the Panthers, and let's see, Green Bay's got to lose at least one. Oh, we had Titans beat the Green Bay as well. So let's see if Green Bay. Okay, so Green Bay could still beat the Titans if Green Bay loses to the Panthers, beats the Titans, and wins the last game. So if Green Bay loses one, and then that scenario happens where Seattle wins out and the Cardinals beat LA, we'd get the 2nd seed.
Yeah.
That could happen. I could see the Cardinals giving the Rams a fight.
I think that, I mean, if you're just going by like that basic, if I was going to go by, I don't think it's going to really happen because I just think that the Rams are just a better team as a whole. But if I think that we're just going by that basic logic of it's hard to beat a team twice in the season, then I think the Cardinals do get that game. And then you have that scenario plays out, then you get the 2 seed. But I just don't see, just because of the team, I don't think that the run game is just nowhere near. I mean, the Rams run game, I mean, if you see how Akers played, rushing for almost 200 yards, that's crazy. And then you have just that front four is just unbelievable how many times they can just get to the quarterback. I just do not see it, the Cardinals being the Rams. I just don't.
I know. I get you. All right.
It's sad.
Let's get maybe one, maybe two more if they're quick. Let's go to Unknown. Okay. What you got?
Unknown.
Unknown, are you there?
So
is this Unknown?
So what I have is I actually feel like the Panthers might have upset the Packers. So the Packers are looking ahead into Titans game. And so this might be like, a trap game.
Well, and I've got that as the scenario. If the Packers do lose to the Panthers, they could lose the 1 seed. But if the Packers beat the Panthers, they're looking pretty good to have a solid grip on the 1 seed. So really got to wish the Panthers
and
to
then
somehow upset them.
The Vikings pulling up an upset.
Yeah, but the Vikings over the Saints on Christmas Day. We're definitely wanting that. If we can pull those things
in the scenario right now, like, do we have the Vikings winning that game right now?
I just changed it to that, and it still has this Green Bay in the number 1 seed. The Panthers beat the Packers, and again the Saints lose to the Vikings. We could be in the 1 seed, but I think there's another loss we have to get in there. The Saints still have to. No, if the Saints win out after if they lose to the Saints would, if they beat Kansas City and they lose to the Vikings and they win against the Panthers, they would end up in the 3rd seed if Seattle can win out.
Okay.
And if Green Bay if Green Bay loses to that scenario, you just
There's
talked about Green Bay losing to the Panthers.
If Washington loses out and Eagles win out.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my boy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot to ask for.
Wait, so what happens then?
Oh, wow.
What happens then if those two win out? What
You're
happens
saying
then?
if Washington loses out and Eagles win out? Is that the question?
That might flip a lot of
let's
things.
try it. All right, but you're saying that means Seattle loses to Washington too. Is that what you're saying?
No. Washington loses out.
Oh, Washington loses out. Okay, Washington loses out. Okay, if Washington loses out. Let's get all that in here. And the Eagles win out. Man, that could happen. The Eagles are a totally different team now.
No, thank you.
Where's the Eagles? Where am I missing? Where's the Eagles? Oh, there it is. Eagles against Dallas, and then Week 17, Eagles beat. Where am I missing them? Where's the
They
Eagles?
beat
Washington head to head. Well, yeah, there you go. Seattle would end up. Well, again, these other scenarios in place. It just puts the Eagles at the 4th seed. They would win the NFC East, and then everything else still kind of plays out the same. So it really just flops the Eagles and the Washington.
Yeah.
All right.
And we can all
There's a
agree
lot
that the
of
Cowboys
playoff
have no chance.
complications.
All right. Well, unfortunately, gosh, I wish you'd go more, but time is up. The good thing is, though, that for all of you I didn't get to, in 30 minutes, I'm doing a coach's corner, and we're jumping really deep, super deep into the weeds with Coach Marsh on a coaching corner to break down the Washington football team. So we will be taking calls for that show as well. So, but I got to wrap up this show because I got to get ready to transition to the next show at 5 o'clock in 30 minutes. So I'm going to sign off here, allow these guys to have a chance to talk about what they got going. So real quick, again, I want to thank my guests up there. We have Casey, the Casey Sports Nerd. What do you got going? Anything on your channels that you want to tell everybody about?
Yeah, so what I got right now, I just released a video today of my 3 keys to beating the New Orleans Saints tomorrow. I just got that up with the new green screen setup and, of course, the headphones and the mic. I really looking forward to this game tomorrow, and I hope please check that out. I think I'm 16 subs away from my first 50 subscribers. So if you guys have not done so already, please hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. It's probably the best way to show support to either any of these channels. And before you sub to mine, make sure you sub to Sky Aviation, Jose, very intelligent, and Nick. I've probably known for the longest time of all the collabs I've done. So please, he's only 3 away. You're only 3 away from 50 actually. So
1 away now.
1 away now. So if you guys have not done so already, please sub. And as again, we all greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. So I need to get your guys' links so I can put them in the description. So text me or put in the and put it in the Skype chat. Your guys' YouTube links. So I can copy them from there. Nick Lebeau, go ahead and let everybody know what you got going.
Yeah. So as you guys know, my channel is 1 away from my first 50 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I think we're gonna hit that any minute. I could not have done it without you, Norb. And everyone else. Lewis, obviously, it was seems like yesterday that we did the first fan panel ever in NorbCam history with the Trivia 13. So if you haven't already, go check that one out. That was a lot of fun. Go check out Sky High Aviation. He does awesome stuff on his channel. Super smart, as you guys already know by watching him today. Same with Lewis as the Casey Sports Nerd. He, as you guys know, he released his 3 keys. My 3 keys to Seattle Seahawks win over the Washington football team will be released probably in the next 30 minutes. Oh, we just hit 50.
I was about to say,
congratulations, 50 subs.
Thank
awesome.
you guys so much. Yeah, so I have Insta and Twitter. That's also Seattle Sports Talk, where I just update on Seattle sports. So yeah, please go check that out after you've checked out the Casey Sports Nerd and Sky High Aviation. And of course, please go down below, like, subscribe, ring the notification bell for Norb and in the description. The link to the Discord is down there, I believe, or I think it's on top.
It's
but
on
yeah,
both.
check
It's in
that
both.
out. That's an amazing community where all sports fans come together and we can talk and chat, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
I
you
highly suggest it.
Yes, and you're one of the high-ranking guys over there helping run things. So I appreciate your what you do for the Discord, man. So awesome! Congratulations on the 50. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
last
Thank
but
you so much
certainly-
for having us, Norb.
Absolutely. Well, last but certainly not least, we got to get our future pilot, Sky High Aviation. Tell everybody about your channel.
Well, if you like planes and aviation, then my channel is for you. Just like the guy said, make sure you go sub to Sports Nerd. He's got good content. He's got good stuff. Make sure to sub to Nick. He's doing really good stuff over there. I think he's starting a podcast too. I heard. He's starting that, so that's going to be some good stuff. Go check that out. Obviously, the channel that I run, Sky Aviation, it's planes. If you like aviation, if you like planes, if you like all that stuff, go check it out. I haven't uploaded in a while because of the pandemic, but I've got a lot of stuff about planes. It's mostly takeoffs, landings, what to expect if you want to fly in a plane. It's all good stuff. Well, that's pretty much it.
All right. And like I said, you guys put your links, your YouTube channels in the description so I can copy them into the or in the chat so I can copy them into the description for everybody who's watching this after the fact. And I'm not gonna let you off the hook, Sky High Aviation, because I said I want to hear as a future pilot. I said you got to give me your cruising altitude speech when you're the captain and we're all sitting there in the plane. You know, we've gone to a cruising altitude and they say you can take off your seatbelts or to move about the cabin. You say. What, Captain Jose Rivera? Captain Rivera, you have the microphone. Go.
3, 2, 1. All right, folks. We've just reached our cruising altitude. You can get up and move around the cabin. Just make sure you keep your seatbelt on when you're in your seat. Please refrain from forming a line at the front of the lavatory. We'll let you know if we hit some turbulence up ahead. About 2.5 hours out of New York. We'll give you more update once we get closer to New York. Weather in New York is sunny skies, clouds, a little bit of clouds, winds out of the northeast. Once again, pleasure having you on board. Thank you. That's it.
Hey, that was good.
Nice.
That was good, man. That was
awesome.
good. I loved it. I like it. I like when you bring it. It's like on the spot. You just gotta be Johnny on the spot and come up with your stuff. You brought the goods. That was good. I can see that in the future. Captain Sky High Aviation doing his thing. All right, and again, hit these guys up. These channels. They're young. They're smart though, and they got a lot of good comments and content on their channels. Check them out and give them some love. And of course, I'd appreciate some love from you guys as well. I'm trying to reach 50K. It'd be a huge milestone for me. So I'm getting there slowly. So
we'll have a celebration.
That'll be a huge one for sure. So, all right, you guys got to get ready for the coaches' corner coming up in less than 30 minutes. But again, I'm NorbCam. Special thanks to my guests. Yes, the Packers need to lose. Saints need to lose. Let's get that move up in number 2, number 1 seed. It could happen, but we got to start with that game tomorrow against the Washington football team, and that's what we're going to talk about. All right, thank you guys. That was fun. We will talk to you guys all later. All right, have a great rest of your weekend. See you guys at the next show. Go Hawks.
Peace out. Go Hawks.